This presentation is for the most elite officer recruits of the Imperial Academy. To begin your enrollment, you will subscribe to this channel. To facilitate competent training, I will personally oversee the battle tactics curriculum of the Executor class Star Destroyers. Those of you who do not retain the training will be eliminated. The Executor class is a Star Dreadnaught and Imperial command ship, which dwarfs Imperial Star Destroyers. By now you must already know the battle tactics of Imperial Star Destroyers. If not, perhaps you should avoid choking on your incompetence by reviewing the archives of this channel. Following the same design philosophy as the smaller Star Destroyers, the Executor is a siege vessel with an emphasis on frontal assault. Unlike some certain Grand Admirals, I have no interest in unnecessary complexity. Simple power is the most efficient way to execute battle actions. When entering a battle, the enemy is almost always in front of the ship, and most of the Executor's firepower can be directed forward due to the shape of the ship. The Executor is also capable of delivering devastating broadsides. Unlike the smaller Imperial class, the aft section is arranged in a way to allow many weapons to fire aft. Although this design has a most efficient weapons arrangement, to use it with efficiency, careful planning is required before bringing the ship into battle. If the rebels are ever aware of the Executor's approach prematurely, they could have time to escape or arrange some form of counterattack. Careful scouting and reconnaissance must take place in order to bring the Executor out of hyperspace in the most efficient manner. When the Executor appears unexpectedly, the shock and terror of the enemy is often enough to demoralize them. Imperial commanders should not be too arrogant or proud when in command of these ships. While the hull plating and armor of the Executor is nearly indestructible, the systems such as the thrusters, shield generators, bridge, and weapons are vulnerable, especially to fighter attack. There is no excuse for these vulnerabilities. The Executor is capable of fielding hundreds of the latest TIE fighters and TIE strike craft, more than capable of protecting these critical systems. The Executor also has several hundred point defense lasers in anticipation of such an attack. Only a large fleet consisting of thousands of fighters, supported by capital ships, would be able to damage these systems. However, even if they are destroyed, the Executor's hull is likely to remain intact and can be repaired later, unless the ship loses thruster control and collides with a large object. Most of the Executor's weapons are incapable of focusing the firepower aft. Star Dreadnaughts are also incapable of maneuvering in the same way smaller ships are capable. Flanking maneuvers could cause some problems. To counter this, the Executor is equipped with dozens of tractor beams capable of slowing down or stopping other ships from maneuvering. Also, the Executor must always have an escort of smaller Star Destroyers, cruisers, and frigates. The Executor's primary role is a command ship. The Executor relays commands and improves the coordination of the fleet. In this case, Death Squadron, a fleet of Star Destroyers, placed under my direct command with the Executor at its core. This will motivate the crews and officers to be competent or die. This class of starship is certain to be a success, and construction of the Executor began shortly before the destruction of the first Death Star. The Emperor has arranged for the construction of up to a dozen more of these ships, which will serve as the core of several Imperial fleets throughout the galaxy for decades to come. This concludes this presentation. You will now go to patreon.com/resurrected to support the starship construction efforts. If you are incapable of doing so, you will like and share this presentation. Or perhaps I can find new ways to motivate you.
Thank you for watching, Space Friends. I am creating new starships to present and animate. The higher the quality, of course, the more time it requires. Currently, right now, as you can see, I'm working on the Rylan Gunstar from The Last Starfighter. I'm looking forward to building many more ships and animate them, and we'll be publishing them here, so stay tuned.